quiet this morning. Why y'all so quiet? I am pleased to announce we have many visitors in this morning. I'd like to come for bringing all these folks in here. Would ask each one of them one of you stand, call yourself by name. I'm just joking. Wouldn't do that. I wouldn't ask him to do that. And folks would do it if I did ask him. So I'm not going to do that. Anything you see on the computer screen this morning, you can disregard. Things have changed. We will not be in the book of Zephaniah today. It will be another Sunday. Let's just put it this way, that the Lord has intervened. Things have transpired, and we will not be going there today.
So I can turn this off?
You can turn that off. That will have absolutely nothing to do with nothing. It does not matter. There will be no outline. There will be nothing like that. First of all, who's got a moment this week that they can actually share with the congregation where God has blessed them in a certain way? Raise your hand. You got something God has done for you this week, or blessed you in some kind of way? What have you got? Somebody. Somebody. Yes, I am. Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Somebody. We're here. David's got one.
We had a good turnout at Bible Club on Wednesday morning at school. So we've had more kids than we've been having show up. So I hope it keeps growing.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
God
Somebody else.
blessed us with rain, and He also blessed us with cool temperatures.
So did. And we didn't get too much rain too quick. I don't know what Lincoln ended up with. We ended up with a couple of inches around the morning. I don't know if that's about what y'all got done. Okay. But it was a good rain. It was a nice, steady stuff. Do it for me, Jan. It was a nice, steady, slow rain. It wasn't too hot in Duvfield yesterday. I couldn't take it so much though. I'm weak when it comes to heat. Heat's going to beat me down this summer. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything they want to share? Anybody? All right. When I say things happened this morning or things transpired, I mean that literally. I sat down and honestly, I've had these notes that I've been working on for this morning's sermon that I've been working on this whole entire week. And I've really been getting into it. I've really just kind of dug into all of it. And I come in here this morning, and for whatever reason, before I got ready to leave the house, for those of you that don't know, I get up about 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings, and that's when I prepare for today's message. I have to do it like that because when you get my age, you got as much going on in your life as I do, I forget things. So if I don't do it Sunday morning, I'll be forgot what the message is by the time I get to church on Sunday morning if I do it on Saturday. And just to share with you, this morning before I got ready to leave, I was sitting down and finished off my notes, and along by the time I get through with my notes, I'll get up and I'll go take me a shower. And Becky and I had our cup of coffee this morning, and I come back in there, and it just happened to be one of those situations where I said, you know what, today may just not be the day. It may not be the day for this. So I just jotted down some things. I just literally just jotted them down in case something were to change. And let me explain what I do. If you're too hard-headed to go along with what the Lord wants you to do and let Him lead you, you're not going to get very far in this world. So, to me, a simple message that comes straight from Him is a lot more important and will touch a lot more lives than something that man has sat down all week putting together. And I want to share this message with you this morning. And this message comes from just a very simple thing that happened this morning in Sunday school class. I did not share it with the Sunday school class when it happened, but it was an amazing moment. If anybody can say they had a God moment this week, I can honestly say that. And we have it all over Billy Joe. Every bit of it. So if you like this morning's message, you can praise Billy Joe in. Not praise him, but thank Billy Joe. But if you don't like it this morning, you can blame Billy Joe. Okay? So that's what it is. Okay. So here we go. Don't get hung up this morning in something that sounds confusing. Do not make this message confusing. Do not allow it to be confusing. When I ask these questions, I ask them specifically for a yes or no answer. And I ask them specifically so you will look not at me, not at the congregation, but at yourself. So imagine everybody holding 2 hands up in front of them right now. Just hold your hands up front. Imagine if in your 2 hands right now, Tommy, you're not holding your hands up. Tommy, See, Tommy's one of them that's not going to go along this morning. So I can tell right now, Tommy's not willing to do something this morning. You know what that is? Look in the mirror. Imagine that you have a mirror in your hand right now, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror. Say, who am I in this mirror? Call your name out. Who's in the mirror? You don't know your whole name? You don't know your name? When I say, who's in your mirror? Say your name. Who's in your mirror? Very good. That's who we're looking at this morning. We're not looking at family members. We're not looking at people we work with. We're not looking at people that we come to church with. We're not looking at people that we watched the ball game yesterday with. We're not looking at nobody else in the whole wide world right now, but who's in that mirror. That's all we're looking at. You know, Scripture actually tells us to look in the mirror. And it says in looking in that mirror, we need to not just look at ourselves and see how pretty we are, or see what kind of bad hair more we're having, or well, a little bit of makeup we got somewhere. Bless the Lord, Maggie coming in here, hers on just jacked up a while ago. I can imagine just having makeup all over. Had to straighten all that out. But the point of the matter is, Scripture tells us, look at ourselves in the mirror. Does anybody know what it says next? What's it say, Scott? And the mascot's makeup's all day. What's it say, Diane?
It's something about discerning yourself.
Study.
Study yourself.
Examine. Look at. Ponder. Really, really dig into what you see. When you look in the mirror, it tells you to look in the mirror and it says study what you're looking at. Study yourself. Examine yourself. Ponder what you see. And you know the reason for that? There's a very specific reason God gives for that. He says because when you walk away from it, you will be able to remember what you saw. If you're only looking in the mirror for looks, or to put something in place that's not in place, or to wish something was back in place that's no longer in place, if that's the only reason you're looking in a mirror, you're not using the mirror for the way God intended for you to use it. So let me ask you a few questions this morning. With our mirrors held in, if I were to ask you this morning, are you saved? Most of you would say yes. Now, I don't know a lot of you. There's a big group back there. I really appreciate y'all being here this morning. But do understand this. I will not be a person that stands up here and judges you for who I think you are and who I don't think you are. It doesn't matter to me who I think or what I think. It only matters between you and the Lord. That's really the only one that matters. But if I were to ask you right now, this morning, are you saved? There's a lot of people in here who say yes. There's a lot of people who say yes. I'm going to go to a short story now. I'm going to use this story for this morning, but I'm also going to use it for the other message that I was going to have this morning. So you're going to hear this story twice if you have to be here 2 Sundays in a row. Some of us do that. I've been here 2 Sundays in a row. Anybody else understand that? Billy went riding a bicycle yesterday morning for one reason only, just so I can make sure I had more miles this week than Scott's got. I know Scott's got a lot of miles in his bicycle.
How many you got?
Huh?
How many you put in?
I was pushing 40-something. See, now his makeup's all sideways. I went riding for one reason only. I wanted to do a 20-mile ride. So I went out on a 20-mile ride yesterday morning, and I rode from my house through Norwood out to the interstate, out toward Cadley, Georgia, if anybody knows where Cadley's at. And as I'm riding out there, I get to a point where I'm going to stop taking a quick break. I can't think of no better place than at the bridge. So I stopped right in the middle of the bridge. I get off and get my Gatorade out, and I'm standing there. And a couple and another couple that just pulled off on the side of the road, they were changing kids. There was the parents were dumping the kids off on the grandparents. And everybody was happy. The couple that was getting rid of the kids was happy, and the couple that was getting the kids was happy. And I don't think the kids were happy, I don't think they just cared. They were going on for the ride. But anyhow, I come by and the boat man said, beautiful day. I said, yes, it is, beautiful day. Lord bless me, beautiful day. So I go and I pull up, I stop. Well, the guy in the vehicle, one of them gets on the ramp, takes off down, I wave at him. The other guy, he comes by. He comes pulling up down on the bridge. And he makes that terrible mistake. He starts slowing down. Fatal error on his part. Fatal error. He does even worse than that. He rolls the window down. I says, I got it. I love asking my question. He pulls up, how many miles you doing today? I kicked that with a pose and said, just 20. Just get back started. I was not being impressive. I was hurting. No. But I didn't want him to know that. I had to make sure that he was talking to someone of an extreme importance in the sport of cycling. Y'all are really confused, and I hate it for you, but I just love doing it. So anyhow, he pulls up and he said, "How many miles?" "I'm doing about 20 miles." He said, "That's good." He said, I can't. He said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about getting me a bike." I said, "It's a great sport." I said, "Don't hurt your knees." And he said, "I got a torn this and a twisted that, and something about his hibiscus in one of his knees was bad, and I don't know what all that stuff is." But anyhow, he had several things wrong with him. I said, "Dude, you need a bicycle. You need a wheelchair, one or the other. You got all messed up." "What was it? What's wrong?" "Never mind." But he said, "Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that." And the whole time I'm talking to him about the bicycle, I'm like, "Okay, just quit talking about the bicycle. Quit talking about the bicycle. It's time for me to ask you my question. Time for me to ask you my question." Of course, my wife knows what this question is going to be.
Me too.
I said, "That's good." I said, "It's a beautiful day the Lord gives." I said, "What's going to happen to you when you die?" I said, "You're going to heaven when you die?" How many times have I heard the word hope?
I hope so.
I hope so. He did change it a little bit. You know what he said? He said, "Hopefully so." I said, "This dude's going to see it." He said, "Hopefully so. Hopefully so." I go to, I said, "What church you member of?" He told me the name of the church. He's from Monroe, and his name is Lee. And as I began to talk to him, I began to see so many things that's just a common trait among people that's in church right now. Such a common trait. Such a common trait. Now, we're going to be talking about something this morning that is more important than anything you'll ever hear out of a pulpit in your whole entire life. Nothing will be more important than what we talk about this morning. I don't care who the messenger is, listen to the message. I don't care how I present it, listen to the message. I don't care what words I use, hear what God's having to say this morning through this message. But let me tell you something right now. If I sit here and I ask you this question, if I were to ask you this question, "Are you saved?" most of you would say yes. But you know what? There's a great deal of many people in this world that would say, "I hope so," or "hopefully so." A great deal many. And you know what they say? Just as soon as they start saying that, they start backing it up with works. They back it up with works. I hope I am. I go to church and I hope he's in there. I hope I'm in the right place. I hope I've done the things I'm supposed to do. And of course, you know me, I ain't gonna leave it alone. Wouldn't dare leave it alone. I said, "So you said Jesus says you saved, huh?" He said, "Yeah, well, yeah, I've done that." I said, "Why are you saying hopefully?" I said, "What have you got your hope in?" He said, "Well, you know, it's hard." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "It just, I have all these things going on. And I've got this going on, I've got that going on." I said, "Let me tell you something. As long as you say that you've been saved by the shed blood of Jesus Christ, hope in the form of a verb should never be used in your vocabulary again. You have hope in Jesus Christ. You don't hope in your salvation. You have hope in Jesus Christ." If I were to ask you a question this morning, like you say, most of you would say yes. But the ones of you, there are some that would say yes with just a little bit of a twinge of wondering, a little bit of twinge of doubt. George is not in here, but I can say George and Billy Joe, both of us, all of us had a conversation this morning, Stephen's Sunday school class. This question come up, and it was this question of, have you ever had any doubts in your salvation? Have you ever had any doubts for your salvation? And I'm going to be honest with you, I was blessed with the honesty that I heard. I was blessed with it because it means that there's people in this church that's willing to admit that things ain't perfect, life ain't perfect, and yes, we all struggle. But there's one thing we had to take away from that class this morning. It ain't about us when it comes to knowing our salvation. It's about who we have our salvation in. That's right. That's what makes the difference. We got to take, when it comes to our salvation, when it comes to your salvation, you know the first thing you got to do? You got to get you out of it. Because as long as you got you and anything to do with your salvation is null. Your salvation is void. You know why? Because it goes right back to what that gentleman named Lee said. Well, I hope I have, and I hope I've done all the right things. Let me tell you something. You don't do the right things to inherit the kingdom of heaven. It does not happen. If I were to ask you this morning, you say most of you say yes. If I were to ask you how you knew this, the answer would be things like this. I've accepted Christ. I've been forgiven of my sins. I've been born again, and so on. A lot of people know how to answer these questions. John, it's very easy for a person to, if he knows anything about the Bible or anything about Jesus, if you ask him if they're saved or not saved, it would be easy for him to say, well, my sins have been forgiven. I've asked Jesus for forgiveness of my sins. I've been born again. I've inherited the kingdom through my acceptance of Jesus Christ, blood on the cross of Calvary. It's so easy for people to say these things. But then, why is it such a problem that right after we say them, we revert right back to having you or me or I or myself in the works of my own salvation? Why do we put so much emphasis on knowing how to have salvation and then not live in the understanding of is it been established or not? And what we are salvation is in. All right. If I were to ask you, have you ever questioned your salvation? Some of you would answer with an absolute no, and some a confusing sounding yes. All right. Stephen can tell you, he already knew that last week when he was asking everybody in the class, have you ever had any doubts about your salvation? He asked Allison, and Allison said something. He asked Kimber, and Kimber said something. And I forgot who else was in there, but he got me and he said, well, I reckon I already told you. He knew exactly what I was going to say. Because when he asked me if I had any doubts about my salvation, I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I told Stephen at that point, there's one thing this church has got to do. You've got to do this. And until you do this, me and us, me and y'all, us and we, you and them, all this water folks here is never going to be able to connect. Okay? Sometimes you don't understand that I don't understand. Have I got that? I want to make sure Fred, you'll take you on board. Okay. You don't understand that I don't understand. Because when I say this, I'm not being boastful. Because Paul says I will not boast in my own doings. I will boast in Christ Jesus. But from the day I got saved, I knew that my life would change forever. And from the day that I got saved, I knew that I would never be the same person. And from the day that I got saved, I knew that I would be a servant of the Lord in some capacity. And I started by using the biggest thing He gave me, and that's my mouth. But you know what? He's still using me. He's using my mouth. But you know what? I have not been perfect since I got saved. I have made some terrible mistakes. I have let my anger, I have let my being judgmental of others, I have let my covetousness, I have let my jealousy, I have let my inability to have compassion, I've let many, many things in my life get in the way of me walking forward with the Lord. There's one thing I have never done. I've never questioned my salvation. Never, ever, not once. I've been through a loss of a job, and I've never once questioned my salvation. What we do question in the middle of all this is one simple question, and it's just like this. It should sound just like this. God, what are you doing in my life right now? I'm not saved, or I'm scared to death. I've lost my salvation. I made a bad decision. Am I saved? Am I still saved? Have I lost it? Lord, what have I done? What do I need to do to come back to you? God, what are you doing in my life right now? What are you doing in my life? Why is my life upside down? What are you doing in my life right now to prepare me, to instill in me the ability to get through all of this? What are you doing in my life to help me rather than what I think right now is a hurt? What are you doing in my life right now? That's the question you ask. That's the question you ask. But I've never questioned my salvation. How many of you can sit here and say the same thing? We had some wonderful honesty this morning at Sunday school class. We have people in Billy Joe, we have people in George, we have people that face times, have faced times in their life where they really have some serious questions. Serious questions. And I even told Billy Joe, I said it concerns me to hear people that's in a position. Billy Joe's a deacon, but he was still honest enough to say that sometimes in his life, even recently, he began to question his own walk with the Lord because he thought that he had done things that would bring fault or bring a serious detrimental effect to what he was doing with the Lord. But I appreciate the honesty. My thing is, I wish everybody would be that honest. I wish we would hold that mirror up, look at ourselves and say, have I ever actually questioned my salvation? And you know what? It's okay to say yes. It don't mean I can understand it. But it's okay to say yes. Because if you're not being honest with the Lord, you're fooling yourself. That's all you're doing. For those of you who answer yes, I would ask how you be saved one minute and not the next. That's the question I want to ask you right now. If you can sit here and you can say, I've missed my salvation, sometimes I've questioned my salvation. Sometimes I've wondered if my walk was really true. Sometimes, and let me tell you something, a lot of people in this church, me, myself, and I included, my wife's one of them, a lot of people in the church went through the walking down the aisle thing when they were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Okay? Only to fall off the wagon just tremendously. They go through the college years, they go through the high school years, they go through the growing up years, they go through the drunkenness years. Well, there's people in here that's been through that. Well, let me explain something to you. You got to go back, and the first thing to do is forget about everything you've done in the past. From the time that you claimed to walk down the aisle and accept Jesus as your Savior, and then life went upside down for all this time, first thing you got to do is forget about all that. You know what you got to do? Look in that mirror you're holding up and say, where am I at right now? Where am I at right now? No matter how much drink, no matter how much I've done wrong, no matter how many things I've done that was displeasing to the Lord, where am I at right now? Right now. You need to ask yourself that question. You hold it mirror up yourself. Where are you right now? In your walk, do you have a walk? Do I have a walk with the Lord? You've got to ask yourself that question. And you know why? If you don't ask yourself that question, 10,000 preachers can ask you that same question. It won't have the same effect of you asking yourself that same question. That's why you're the one that's got to ask it. A Sunday school teacher can't do it. You can hear Billy Joe's testimony. Billy Joe going on about what he's been through, the problems he had here, about his salvation, whole 9 yards. Doesn't matter about Billy Joe's testimony. It only matters about you. If I talk to Tommy, and Tommy just got this awful time period in his life after he claimed he got saved, and he went through all this, and he's back out of it home. Doesn't matter in your life. But you can hear what God has done in other people and understand that He can do the same thing in your life. Same thing in your life. You've got to hold it mirror, folks. You've got to hold it mirror. But here we go. Now we're fixing to get into the good. You folks as visitors, I'm glad y'all here today. I'm not trying to confuse anybody. I'm trying to make this just as simple as I possibly can. We're going to get to some scripture just a little bit. I'm going to come in and you draw it, okay? We're going to get some scripture just a little bit. I asked you if you could have salvation, then how can you have it 1 minute and the next minute be gone? Well, personally and honestly, and according to Scripture, there's no such thing as that. Okay? You don't lose what God gives you. Okay? You may misplace a lot of stuff, but you're not going to misplace what God gives you. Okay? Now, I would then ask this question. What really saved you to begin with? What really saved you to begin with? I'll let you think on that just a second. All right, seconds up. Now, here we go. I guarantee you right now, if I were to just say, Scott, what saved you to begin with? I'm not going to ask you to answer. Kathy, what saved you to begin with? Lee, what saved you to begin with? Matt, what saved you to begin with? Billy, what saved you to begin with? Glenn, what saved you to begin with? Mary, what saved you to begin with? If I were to ask y'all, put all y'all on point right now. I got to have an answer. I got to have an answer. You would hear many, many different things. You would hear, I've been born again. You would hear, I've accepted Christ as my Savior. You would hear that Jesus died on the cross for me. You would hear that I was a sinner and I've been forgiven. You would hear many, many things. Do not misunderstand what I'm fixing to tell you. All of that I'm fixing to tell you makes perfect sense if you would just listen by the way I'm trying to explain it. All these things are right, but they're not what saves you. All of them are right, but they're not what saves you. You know what saves you? You know what actually saved you? See, the fact of Jesus Christ dying on the cross 2,000 years ago for your sins and mine is not what saves you. What He done is a fact. The reason He done it is a fact. It's all true, but what saves you is the faith. That's what saves you. You can believe anything you read in any book or anywhere else, but unless you have faith, and unless it's a faith that comes from here, none of it born again, Nicodemus talking to Jesus in the tent at night. Anybody that come to Christ, unless they walk away from Jesus with faith and knowing who He is, they walked away lost. I've got a way to explain it. I was baptized at 12 years old. And let me tell you something. There ain't many kids in this point day in this church that's come up no rougher than I did as far as through my teenage years and even into my young adulthood. I could be a sot. And for those young folks who don't know what a sot is, that means a drunk showing up. That means a lap-legged drunk. If you don't know what that is, then there's other ways to say it. Does everybody here know what sot and lap-legged is? If you don't, we'll explain later. But I can get lap-legged drunk. Let me explain something to you. I've done all of those things. I know I've done all of those things. And every bit of the time I was doing it, I knew it wasn't Jesus. I knew He died on the cross. I knew I was a sinner. And I knew that He done it for me. But I didn't put my future in His hands. I held it in mine. My faith was in me. I had to put my faith in Him. I had to put my faith in Him for tomorrow. Not in what I can accomplish today. Because you know what? Today's going to last just a few more hours and it's going to be gone. You can't do nothing about it. It's gone. It's forever gone away. But what about tomorrow? Do you know tomorrow's not a promise? Do you know that there may not ever be a tomorrow? Do you know that the Lord will come back right now, which He is going to come back, but I have no idea when. Anybody tell you when He's coming back? So why not? Okay? So if anybody says that end times is there, yeah, surely it's near compared to eternity. But it may be 2,000 years from now. So you can't really call that near. So anybody puts up all these signs over eternity and end times is near, just disregard it. Hold your mirror back up. Say, where am I at? Forget about all the signs. Where am I at? Quit looking at all the church signs and say, where am I at? That's what we got to do. The whole time I was ranting and raving and ready to bust hell wide open, I didn't have faith in Jesus Christ. Even though I knew everything about Him, I did not put my faith in Him. I was not assured of my salvation because of faith in Him. So I want to ask you something. What is faith? What do you have your faith in? Let's look at what the word faith is. Let's look at how let's dig into faith. For those of you that may not know Christ, let's look at what faith actually is. We have faith in that our house will keep us warm, cool, dry, and protected from the storms. We have faith that our car will get us to and from wherever we need to go. We have faith that our jobs will support us financially. We have faith, and this is a good one, y'all, this is a good one. We have faith that our family and friends will be there for us in our times of need. We have faith that Walmart will have what we need. We have faith that the gas station will have the gas that we need. We have faith that the lights will come on. We have faith that water will come from the spigot when we turn it on. I ask you, what is the common denominator of all these things that we have faith in? What is common? What is everything that we just talked about? Every one of these things we have faith in. What has every one of them got in common? Every one of them can change. Every one of them can change. Mr. Bill, what years was it way back on when they had folks lined up at the gas pump because there wasn't no gas? Early 70s.
Late 70s.
Late 70s. Cars. For those of you young folks, y'all don't understand, but people used to drive cars that were flung from hitting the road out something. They had engines in them that they now use in the cruise ships. That's how big the engines were. They rebuilt engines by getting inside them and building from the inside out. How big the engines was. You open up a Cadillac hood by long from me to Jackson right there, and the engine started, the radio went all the way to Jackson. Massive guzzlers of gas. Well, guess what the biggest thing is that has to do with our gas today? Politics. And politics in the 70s was just as big of a mess. Many people talk about it today. Just as big of a mess as it is right now. Let me share a little something with you. Becky was talking about Jimmy Carter and about Ford, and not Ford Carter, used to be a president named Ford. Maggie, you ever heard of him? Okay, she's heard of him. Good, great. All right. The presidents back then, when they were being elected or when they were in office, one of the biggest things they had dealings with, Palestine and Israel. None of that changes. Don't think all this is going on right now is new. It's been going on forever. And it is going to until my Savior comes back. It's always going to be like that. But the thing about this, Mr. Bill, I think it's easy to say, but there wasn't always gas at the pump, was it? No. Wasn't always gas at the pump. I can vouch for there not always being a job. Scott and I have talked about this many times. Mike and I have talked about this. Let me tell you something. That job that you put all your faith in can be gone. Just like that. Just like that. Snap of a finger. Snap of a finger. And let me tell you something. It's easier to lose a job now than ever has been before. Easier to. You know why? Safety, laws, regulations, rules, enforcement. There's people now that's hired just to walk around. Mr. Bill can tell you, Mom, there's people now that gets hired just to walk around in police areas and they see you doing one thing wrong, you gone. And it could have been a simple mistake on your part. It could have been, guess what? A mistake of somebody else's. Here we go, mirror. Am I doing everything on my job right? That's what you got to ask yourself. You can lose your job. Let's look at some of these. I'm all right. Let's go ahead and listen. All right. Our house to keep us warm, cool, dry, protected from storms. Me and my wife cut down every tree around our house. We have no trees. Tallest tree we got in the whole yard, Dixie. I'm not exaggerating. That's the truth. We'll make it. We cut down half. You know why? If you live close to a tree, your house can't be damaged. And guess what? You ain't even got to live close to a tree because a tornado can pick a big tree up and throw it right through the middle of your house. So forget thinking that your house is always going to be there. It's always going to keep you warm, cool, dry, protected from the storm. If the good Lord brings a storm through, your house ain't going to be there. Our car will get us to and from wherever we go. Anybody else broke down? Raise your hand. Oh, we drive some junk, ain't we? Me and Becky were going to see Allie a couple of years ago in that little truck that I almost sold to Billy. I wish I had him now. We're going down the interstate, we're pulling a little trailer, shouldn't have been, running too fast like I shouldn't have been. And my wife will tell you I'm the world's worst about not letting people get back in after they went in the wrong lane and come fly in front of me and get back in front of me. I can't stand it. I despise it. I despise it. You see that sign that left lane going away? That means it's going away. It don't mean speed up in the right lane. It means get in the left lane. You start slowing down and tucking in, getting like you're supposed to be, and all of a sudden, and then what if you're one of them that's right there toward the end, right when the rubber fixing to hit the road, you done started to see the barricade, they got to be pushing you in, and you get there and you tucking up and you get right in this, and then here comes this and you see them flying up. What am I going to do? I'm going to get just close enough to get in. That's right. But I have a problem with this. The problem is, I do the same thing whether I'm running 5 or 85. And sure enough, as fate would have it, we going down the road in Atlanta one day, and Atlanta's the only place in the world I can drive like I want to, because nobody cares. We going down the road, I see one coming, I know where he's trying to get to, and I'm fixing to cut him off. I stomp him. That truck, the rubber bands, they just went like this, and then all of a sudden it went into another gear, and the tachometer went way over there where the rim was at. And I said, ooh, this is probably too much. I think I better let him in. I let back off, but you know what? The damage is already done. Within a mile, ding, 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 it blew the water pump up. It just went to smithereens. So there we were, where of all places. Couldn't do it on the way to church. No, couldn't do it around Warren. Couldn't do it between my house and Thompson. Had to do it in the middle of Atlanta. Exit 9, never forget it. Cars will let you down. Cars will let you down. Don't you dare think your cars are going to get you where you want to go. Our job, talk about the jobs. Our family and friends. Our family and friends will be there for us in our time of need. Don't fake them. Do not fake them. Has anybody in here got any friends or family that are train wrecks? Any issues with it? We got a lot of hands. That ain't good. That ain't good. How many Did you hold up both hands, Scott? What'd you do?
Well, boy,
Oh, we're for a camper, all right. Let me tell you something. People will let you down, okay? Don't put your faith
don't
in
hit it,
people.
Steve.
Don't put your faith in people. Don't put your faith in your mom and dads. Don't put your faith in your kids. Don't put your faith in your preacher. Don't put your faith in your Sunday school teacher. Don't put your faith in your boss at work. Don't put your faith in any man, any woman, any child. Don't do that. That's a terrible mistake. You know why? Because when you have to hold that mirror up, you can't ask the one standing next to you, who is this in this mirror? You know why? Because they got to have their own mirror up. They got to be answering for their own self. And I'm not talking about not bringing the sugar over when you call a neighbor and they get that 5 minutes later. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when life really hits. When life really hits, it's great to have friends and brothers and sisters you can count on. But let me tell you something, count on Him first. Count on Jesus first. Because He's going to be the one that's going to always be there. Our family and friends won't. They won't. You know why? Sometimes they call my tab when they're on the way to your house. How about that? And if you really, really need them, they ain't going to care because they're going to be sitting beside the road. Abby needed me and Becky. Didn't matter. Ended up, she had to come get us. That's what ended up happening that deal. Walmart will always have what you need, not true. And if you ask somebody know where it's at, they're not going to tell you. The gas station to have the gas you need must be built in the firm, and anybody else in the 70s, we run out of gas. The lights to come on. Is anybody in Lincoln County ever lost electricity? All right, we got a lot of folks in there. The water from the spigot, everybody didn't have a well. Yeah, tell me about a well raising. They don't always work, do they? The common consistency of all these is they all change. But yet we live every day with faith in these things. We truly do. Sometimes we can have faith in very simple things. Sometimes the problem is we have faith in very big things. And if that very big thing that we have our faith in is not Jesus Christ and what He done on Calvary's cross, then we don't have any faith at all. Because everything we have our faith in is temporary. I ask you today to turn with me. We got two things. 1 Samuel 15:29. 1 Samuel 15:29. And then we're going to be in the book of Psalms. First Samuel 15:29. And then we're going to be in Psalm 55:19. And I'm going to read them back to back. So when you find one, save it. Put your hand there, and let's go through the next one. Psalm 55:19. 1 Samuel 15:29. And Psalm 55:19. I want to share these two verses with you. Then I'm going to make a very, very bold and not very comfortable statement. And we're going to close for the day. To start off with, in 1 Samuel 15:29, it says, He who is the glory of Israel does not lie or change his mind. For he is not a human being that he should change his mind. Psalm 55:19. Flip over there right quick and read this with me. God, who is enthroned from old, who does not change, He will hear them and humble them because they have no fear of God. God is going to put right what we've done wrong. God is going to put back in place what we've taken out of place. God is going to acknowledge the hearts of those that have faith in Him. I'm going to say this, and if you've ever held that mirror up, hold it up now when you hear what I'm fixing to say. If you do not have a faith that changes you, then you have no faith at all. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to stand by it. If you do not have a faith that changes you, then you don't have any faith at all. You may not like me for saying it. You may not like what I say, but you cannot argue the point that if a person that has got a hole in his chest that is void of peace, void of joy, void of comfort, void of an understanding of their eternity. If you have a person that has a void in them that's so big that they have nothing to claim, and you fill that void with the Holy Spirit of God, and you're not changed because of it, it means that void has not been filled. It means you've had the temporary pleasure of saying you're a Christian. But at the end of the day, you don't have the faith that's changed you. So if you've ever held that mirror up, hold it up now. And let me tell you something, I'm not holding any punches. I don't know who the youngest one in here. I expect Granny's probably the oldest. I don't know that, but I'm going to say Granny's the oldest. I don't know who the youngest is, probably the little girl right now. But if we were to go from Granny to the little girl right there, all of this applies. All of this applies. Granny, if you don't have the faith that changes you, you don't have the faith to save you. Billy Joe, if you don't have the faith that changes you, you don't have the faith that saves you. Kimber, if you don't have the faith that changes you, you don't have the faith that changes you. Tommy Hall, a dear friend of mine, said, if the world don't see a change in you, brother, there ain't no change in you. And I want to ask you now, when you hold your mirror up, what do you see? Do you see something that's been changed by the shed blood of Jesus Christ on Calvary's cross? Do you see that faith in that mirror that knows that no matter what happens on the face of this earth, one of these days you're going home to be with your Savior? It's a legitimate question. And you know what? I can't answer it for you. Only you can answer it. What is your answer today? Let's pray. Father, we come to you now. Thank you for this time. I thank you for this message. I thank you for the simplicity of it. Father, I thank you for your word saying that you never change your mind. I thank you for your word when it says that you are the Holy One of old and that you never change. And Father, we have to have faith right now in you, knowing that you never change, knowing that you are the God of the past, the present, and the future, knowing that you are the God that put in place a way for us to be with you forever, knowing that if we have faith in you, that we will spend our eternity with the Father that loves us. Lord, I ask now that there's one in here right now that cannot answer this question in a way that brings peace to them. Father, you've heard me ask it again so many times. I don't ask for peace to come to these people. I don't ask for peace to come to the heart in here that does not know you. I ask for misery. I ask for torment. I ask for confusion to come upon this heart. I ask for a burden. I ask for conviction. Lord, I'm not sitting up here trying to sugarcoat all this. I'm not going to say, oh, it'll be okay. If you don't know Jesus, you'll come to know him one day. Lord, you know my heart. And you know that right now, for the heart that sits in here that does not know you, that heart needs to be miserable. And that heart needs to be confused. That heart, it should be asking a question. What do I do? Who are you? What do I do about this? Why am I so miserable? Why is my life such a mess? So, Father, for that heart that sits here right now and hears this message, I pray that your will be done in this life. And this heart will come to know you and come to know this Jesus, this Savior, that we can only have one true faith in. And I ask all these things in his name, through his name, and because of his name. Amen.
It's 3:09.